Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lynette Nunez, a nutrition coach, personal trainer, and today I'm going to be showing you how I meal prep and tips to make your meal prep easy. All right, so tip number one, I always like to make sure that I wash my vegetables and my fruits before I meal prep. One of the things that I love to utilize is the Fit Organic right here. I've already done so. I've already washed my vegetables and all that. But if you're at home, this is something great that you can utilize to remove the waxes off of your fruits and your vegetables. Definitely makes a big difference when you look at the water. Once you're done washing your vegetables, you can tell that there was a lot of stuff on the fruits and the vegetables. So highly recommend you get this. I actually buy these at Walmart if I'm not mistaken, so it's pretty good. Okay, so tip number two. I like to make sure that I have my protein already seasoned before I cook. So for example, I'll season it the day before. That way it tastes better. I feel like the flavor lasts longer. So this is a tip that you can do. Make sure that you season your protein the previous day to meal prepping. So tip number three would be your protein sources. So select 1 to 2 protein sources. I always like to tell my clients is don't overdo it with your protein sources. When you have too many protein sources to meal prep with, it's gonna be more time consuming for you. So my recommendation is have 1 to 2 protein sources to make your life easier. I, for example, cook twice a week. So for the next couple of days, I'm gonna have chicken, and then in the morning, I'll have scrambled eggs. All right, so tip number four really depends if you're cutting or if you're bulking. So if you're cutting, let's stick with that one first. If you're cutting, then you want to keep track of everything that you're consuming. The reason being, if I'm not keeping track of it and I'm eating in a calorie surplus versus a calorie deficit, basically I'm not going to be cutting. I'm not going to be losing weight. I'm not going to be losing that extra body fat percent because I'm eating in a surplus. So I want to give you an example real quick. So if I were to be cutting right now, right, what I would be looking at is the nutrition facts. If you look here in the nutrition facts, you look at 1 tablespoon here equals 14 grams of healthy fat. So for every gram of healthy fat, there is 9 calories. For every gram of protein and every gram of carbs, there's 4 calories. So meaning if you're not keeping track of your healthy fats and everything that you're consuming, you're going to be overeating, okay? So one thing that I give you, one tip that I will give you on this is measure what you're eating. I use a tablespoon because it says back here, 1 tablespoon equals 14 grams of fat, okay? So that's what I'm going to be using. Again, I'm not cutting at this point. If I was cutting, I would be a little bit more strict and possibly instead of using this, I'm going to get something for you real quick, which I have right here. I would be using the olive oil 0-calorie spray. So this is something really good if you're going to be making breakfast, if you're going to be making dinner, lunch. It has 0 calories right here. Get that close up there. Okay, so if I were to be cutting, I would go with this. Now, if you're cutting and you still want to use the olive oil, just try to measure it so that way you can keep track of everything that you're consuming. So for the purpose of showing you, I'm going to put here a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay. That right there is 14 grams of fat. If I keep going like this, I'm going to be overeating because I'm going to be eating too many calories and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing in order to cut. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add all my vegetables now before I add my protein sources. I'm just going to let it cook there. And then once this is preparing now, I'm going to go ahead and get my rice back here. Again, we want to make this easy. I don't know about you guys, if you guys wash your rice or not. I know a lot of people have it's like a controversy with that, right? Do you wash your rice or not? I per se don't wash my rice. The reason for that, if I feel like it loses its flavor, but it's up to you. If you want to wash your rice, go ahead and wash your rice. If you don't, to each their own, right? So I'm going to be putting rice in here. I kind of have an idea of how much rice I will need. So I kind of already put it in there like that. But if you want to add a little bit more because you need more meals, you can definitely do so. I kind of play it out. I just fill it up to halfway and then I add some water in it, okay? So let me get some water. Go ahead and add some water here to my rice. All right, that's good enough. I like my rice very soft, so that's why I added a little bit more water. I don't use any oils for my rice. I don't use a regular salt. I use pink Himalayan salt, and again, no oils, okay? Now, if you want to go ahead and add oils, just want to make sure that you keep track of it. Salt is not bad for you. It's just the type of salt choice, okay? I added some salt there. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up and make sure that it has a little bit of salt flavor. You want to add too much, we don't want it to be too salty. I taste it just a little bit. It's really good. Actually, the flavor is perfect. Okay, so let's get this going here. I'm gonna put the rice high so it starts boiling. Once it starts boiling, I'm gonna move it around and then I'm gonna cover it up. And then here, let's get this on high here, get the vegetables going as well, so then we can add the protein in it, okay? Here. Oh my God, it smells so good. I added garlic. I seasoned it with a little bit of Spanish seasoning, adobo. And yeah, so now we're gonna go ahead and cover it. I'm gonna leave it there for a little bit. So while this is cooking, the rice, I'm still waiting for it to start boiling up. And so just let's give it a little bit and we'll come right back to it. So now what I'm doing is while the protein is getting ready, while the rice is getting ready, I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking my vegetables. I'm gonna use the olive oil 0-calorie spray. And I think I turned on the wrong one, so let's turn on the right one. All right, so I'm gonna cover this up. Then I'm gonna add my green beans. This is my choice for vegetables for these couple of days. And I'm gonna get a little bit of pink Himalayan salt on it, just a tiny bit. I don't want that much. And then a little bit of black pepper here. And then we're gonna let it cook and we'll come right back to that as well. All right, so tip number 5 is having your bowls ready. So it really depends on how you like to do it. There are times where I am on the go and I want to have my meals ready. All I need to do is just grab it and go. But there are times where maybe I did grocery shopping and there's extra food for my kids in the fridge, and so I don't have much space. Then I'll use a big bowl like this and I'll just separate one for vegetables, one for my carbohydrates, and then one for my protein. So again, it really depends what is it that's best for you. Today, I'm going to be separating in the big bowl because I really don't have much space in my fridge. But either or, it's a great option for you. All right, so tip number 6, how to understand what you're going to be eating, right? So this is a tip that I love to give to my clients. I think it's such an easy tip. Let me give you an example. Let's say white rice, right? Let's say you don't know how much carbohydrates is there in a cup. So let me do something. I'm going to go on my phone. And you can try this yourself as well once you're done with watching the video. And I'm going to look up white rice. Okay, and then I can show you here. So white rice nutrition facts. Okay. So here, if you Google any type of food, it could be any type of protein, any type of carbohydrate. If you Google the name of the food and then nutrition facts, it'll literally give you all the information. So if you look here, for 1 cup of white rice, there's 206 calories and there is 0.4 grams of fat. There's 45 grams of carbohydrate. So it's pretty easy. So if you're unsure, this is a good way of tracking this, okay? Tip number 7 is weighing your food and having your meals ready so when you're on the go. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to take a container and I'm going to utilize the same container every time I'm going to weigh my food. So when you're using the scale, you don't want to start adding food to the scale when it's like this. If you get up close here, there's 16 grams already counted for and there's not even food in it, okay? So what you want to make sure is you want to go ahead and put the scale to 0. How do you do that? So I'm going to put the plate on it or the bowl, and then I'm going to click on the turn off button, and you see how it goes to 0? That's how you want to have it. You can also change the units here if you're looking into weighing your food by ounces. I prefer grams, but you know, some people like to do it by ounces. Just make sure that you change that if you like it like that, okay? Again, we're going to be utilizing the same bowl for all of the meals. You don't want to use this bowl and then change it, because I'm going to show you what happens. Now I have 15 grams again because I changed it, okay? So again, you want to keep the same bowl. So how are we going to do this? Okay, let's make sure. Actually, yep, we're at 0. So let me show you. So for my portion, I'm going to do 30 grams of protein. So that'll be like 120, 140 grams on the scale. So we're going to throw some in there until I see the number 120, 130 on the scale. Okay, go here. All right, so we have 130. So I know that now I have 30 grams of protein. So this is going to be for my meal. And I'm going to continue that if I want to have my meals to go, just like this. Okay. So what I like to do for my carbs option, I like to use the measuring cup. Makes it so much easier. If I were to be cutting, I'd probably eat like half a cup. But since I'm bulking, I'm going to go ahead and add a full cup here. Okay. So it makes it a lot easier. Just utilize your measuring items to make your life easier when meal prepping. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and add my vegetables to each of my plates. I'm going to make sure you add enough vegetables in there. Today, like I said, I did some green beans. Look at how pretty this plate looks. And I'm actually not done. I'm going to add something else. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of corn to my meal. Give it a nice taste. I like to mix it with my rice. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like the taste is so good. And I'm actually not measuring this, again, because I'm bulking. But if you were, remember, you always want to look at the nutrition facts. So if I look at the nutrition facts back here, I know that half a cup, if you look here, undrained half a cup gives me 1 gram of fat and gives me 13 grams of carbs and 1 gram of protein. All right, so we are all set with today's meal prep. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. If this video was helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for future notifications. If there's anything specific that you also want to see in the future about nutrition, meal prepping, workouts, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to get a video out there for you. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well, Lynette NC Fit. I hope to see you there, and I'll see you on the next one.